Good morning. I figured I should start to document again. I have a 100-day challenge on another channel sorry, it's 5 a.m., so I'm kind of. The 100-day challenge changed my life 100% because I forced myself to kind of show all the emotions I had. If I was going through something that was horrible, I documented that and I went into that. I embraced the emotion. That's why I cried like a baby in many of those videos. But it was in a very hard period of my life. I lost my family to deportation, trying to battle that and all that stuff. Lots of things was happening. But it really did change my life. And I want to do that again. I want to make a vlog, something that is not high production value, that I could do every day. No problem. Shoot, upload, done. So I do this for two reasons. One, I want to be consistent. And that is, I guess, the whole secret to doing anything online. Be consistent, right? And I have many things that I'm consistent at, like getting up at 5 a.m. And yeah, I told you that it's 5 a.m. It's actually 6 a.m. I get up at 5 a.m. So I'm getting up early. I'm doing the same thing every day. I get up, I check out what I have to do, I do that thing. I probably get some more things during the day to do the next day, and it just keeps on repeating, right? So I wanted to interject something. I wanted to just start a new habit that is going to keep consistent and actually do something where I'm growing audiences or growing lists or whatever it is. That's kind of why I'm starting this video right now, because I just saw a very interesting video that made me almost second guess myself, almost start to doubt myself. And I think that is the plan. I I know that is the plan. There is a YouTuber called James Johnny. James Johnny? James Johnny, I think. He is he's a good dude. Hold on, yes, James Johnny, I just saw that. Or Yanni, James Johnny. I'm not sure. I want to talk to you, bro. If you see this, I want to talk to you once because you're an interesting character. Thing is, this last video I saw was about law of attraction and how he's basically taking that apart. I respect his work. But he made me kind of second guess myself because he went into all of these pseudoscientists or Bob Proctor. These famous characters, Jim Carrey, Oprah, right? Uh all of these people that you kind of you know about, so you have some respect for them. And then when you see that, you have that confirmation bias going on, and then you start thinking like, oh no, but if they are wrong, then am I wrong? All that. So the whole thing about what I do could be grounded in or rooted in the law of attraction, which is why I felt particularly hit by that video, because it kind of goes into telling that, well, what you're doing is not really but that's not the point. James Johnny is a very, very, very intelligent dude. And I have the most profound respect for that guy. As I said, he really puts the work in on his videos, and it shows. It's really well done. Like, if you're watching this, bro, you're good. You're good. But I want to clarify that law of attraction and what he's also saying, quantum, when people are throwing in pseudoscience words, basically, then it makes it seem more authoritative, more special, I guess. So I thought maybe I should just make a video that goes into why I do this. First of all, I have the experience of a troubled life. I had $4 million in debt. My family got deported. Inoperable blood clot that they told me that I had, and all of those things. So a lot of things have happened, and a lot of things have changed. And I would dare to say that a lot of things changed because of quantum physics and law of attraction by compare or what is that? By com fuck it, I'm not gonna think. This is gonna be an unedited video. I don't want to make you sit here and watch 10 minutes of me thinking. Feel tired, but a lot of the things I'm doing is rooted in that, and it is because I went through the entire rabbit hole. I started with some videos that, and I think I actually started with The Secret, which is the video that he is kind of bashing in the video. And I see why. Because The Secret has all these woo-woo concepts. Think positive and all these positive things will happen to you. Just don't think negative because then all the negative things will happen to you. Energies attract. There's more of the same. All that stuff. All that stuff. I don't know what that was. The thing is, it's way more than that. It is so much more than that. If people come to me and they say, so basically all you do is just think positive and then all these things happened. No. No. No, 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 no. And I'm also going to use another word here, neuroscience, neurology, all that. When you do something and you focus on something, when you learn something, neurons will form in the area that you're learning, basically. You're forming new neurons when you're learning new things. And the more neurons you form that is enforcing something that will be constructive to your life, that is kind of a different perspective or the stark opposite of something that you used to do, then the negative part of that will start to diminish. The neurons will die off, basically, start disconnecting because you don't need that anymore. Which means that if you just keep on a positive track, then it's not the universe going, sorry about that, going and saying like, okay, cool, you're thinking positive, so that's why you're going to get all these positive things. No, you're actually implementing habits, constructive habits. Now, with those habits, you're going to start noticing new things happening because you're not doing more of the same. You're not doing the same thing that you've done all over, so you're not going to receive what you've been receiving all the time. Make sense? Quantum physics goes into how we are all connected, how all possibilities, all opportunities are existing at one point, at one time, all the time, basically. So it goes into entanglement. It goes into non-locality, entrainment. There's so many weird words to this, but bottom line, if you go down to the micro of the micro, into the quantum fluctuations of the subatomic particle on a Planck scale in a vacuum, then everything is the same. And if you then can prove that thoughts and all that stuff has a frequency, has a vibration, then everything is vibrations, right? The more down into the micro you go to find yourself, to find where you started, then the more clear it's going to be when you get all of this information from all of these different angles that, okay, this could be tied into religion. This could be tied into law of attraction. This could be tied into Tao Te Ching. This could be tied into Buddhism. This could be tied into every single thing that has been tried labeled since the dawn of time. It's the holistic thing, right? So, that makes it science because you can actually test entanglement. There has been experiments where they have split photons and they have photons on one place 14 miles from the other, and they're basically taken from the same source, now existing at 2 points of the reality in space at once. And then when they stimulate one photon, the other one will be tickled, as they call it, experiencing this exact same or the exact opposite of what's happening to the other one. So they are still in one. That tells us that it's kind of connected still. Take that even further. If you put a lie detector test, this is called the Baxter effect, by the way, and he was ridiculed. He was laughed out of the Society of Science, basically. He put a lie detector test on a plant. He was a he started this Baxter School of Lie Detection, no, something like that, and he became an expert within detecting lies. Once I'm not really sure what prompted him to do this, but he attached electrodes to the plant. He folded up one of the leaves and he put electrodes like lie detector. He hooked it up to a lie detector. And he wanted to see if it reacted to him watering the plant. That's why. So his theory was that if he fills the plant with water, when that plant sucks up the water, it's going to interfere with the electrodes in the stem at some point. He saw more than that. Something happened. When that happened, when the water hit the electrodes, the energy from this lie detector test, or the fluctuations or whatever, it actually diminished. It calmed. It was like, huh, okay, so something happened, right? Now this is measurable, right? I'm going into trying to talk about a plant because it will actually show entanglement, quantum physics, something that is said to be unproven by a lot of people. But then again, if you read a lot of books and you see the whole thing, then you see that there is something there, right? So basically, he saw that it diminished as he filled up the plant. And at one point, he thought, okay, then what can I do to make it not diminish, but actually raise in activity? So he put the leaf in a boiling cup of coffee, or in a hot cup of coffee. Speaking of, I should probably have some coffee. This is cold. When he did that, nothing happened again. He really didn't see any difference in the plant other than like it chilling, being a plant. But then he got to the point where he thought, what else could he do to make the plant react? So he thought about burning it, finding some matches, and actually burning the leaves. When he had that thought, what is the lie detector called? I don't remember. When he had that thought, the needle started to go crazy. It went way off the charts. Like compared to where it was, it started to go completely crazy. The thing is, he hadn't done anything. That's where it gets interesting, you see. He hadn't done anything. He had the thought about burning the leaves. And the plant felt threatened. I'm not going to go into the entire story here, but this evolved into him trying different things. At one point, he was trying to clean up the coffee maker, so he was throwing boiling water down the sink. The sink is basically a repository of all of these bacteria. Bacteria is a live thing, right? As he was throwing the water down there, right before that, the lie detector test went off again. The plant was reacting again. Why? Maybe it was because of the bacteria's distress signals, saying, we're gonna die! If he pours this water into the sink, we're gonna die. And the plant picks up on that. And then the needle starts going off again. Now this was interesting. So it just evolved. A lot of other people jumped on this. But still, he was laughed out of the community. Nobody thought there was anything going on here at all. So this evolved into actual people being tested on. And then having them isolated so that their thoughts didn't intervene with the experiments. This is called entrainment. When two pendulum swings go like this, and they start to go like this, that was hard. See, when they find the sync, that is called entrainment. We can do that. When we are knowing each other, when we have some connection with each other, and we feel something more than just the stranger vibe for each other, and we are focusing on each other, then it has been proven that when one person gets some stimuli, be that erotic, fearful, anxious, anger, whatever it is, the signals on the EEGs on the other person will react, will show activity. The same activity that the other person who's actually observing these things are doing. Entrainment. This has been done with twins. Sorry. With one twin shutting their eyes, raising their alpha brainwave, and the other twin also having that exact same effect with their eyes open. Connection, entrainment, quantum entanglement. We're still like, it's connecting to the field, right? That's where I had the problem with all of this, because when we're starting to talk about quantum physics and law of attraction, all that stuff, I don't know. There is a lot of things in this space where people are just discounting or going all in without really knowing how to explain what they're doing. He was also going into Masaru Emoto, which is Masaru Emoto. This dude, this Asian doctor who came into how water is shaping its molecular form due to the emotions it's receiving. So if you're giving it love and stuff, it will form a snowflake looking pattern. If it's hated upon, it will be this blobby, sickly thing. He basically told everyone in that video that Masaru was wrong, that his entire life was just a sham because he didn't meet in one of the events where he could prove that and get money, like something. I think it was like $1 million reward for people who could actually demonstrate that. That actually surprised me, because I was like, huh, interesting. I never went further down a rabbit hole on Emoto. But not knowing everything about Emoto, not knowing everything about him, should that discredit every other book I've read from Hawking or Einstein or whatever? Like the spookhafte Verwirkungen? I'm sorry if I just completely raped that statement, but basically that is spooky actions at a distance. And if spooky actions at a distance, which is also law of attraction in many ways, where you can have some thought, this is what Einstein called it, by the way, where you can have some thought and it will have a material effect somewhere else in reality, then Einstein called that spooky action at a distance. He went to the grave not accepting this, because he couldn't allow himself to accept this. He could not also he couldn't allow himself to believe in black holes, because black holes was just so out of this world. It was not real. When he died, a long time after that, Stephen Hawking found black holes. The Hawking radiation and the black body and all that stuff. We're going to go into that if need be. But the thing is, Einstein found things, a lot of things, that was not even proven during his lifetime. That was found after his death. That he was like, no, this is not working. This is not existing. It did, because the math checks out, because the science is there. He just didn't have the equipment to find it. And then we got the equipment to find it. And that's where my I don't know why I wanted to make this video now. Because I was kind of irked by the video of James Johnny. I love the dude, and I want to speak to you. But there wasn't a lot of scientific resources in that video. Like, it was more or less focused on what was not, like what was woo-woo. The people who just see The Secret and think that everything is just about thinking positively, while it's not. All of these spiritual new age gurus who walk around and just say, if you just think about pink unicorns and rainbows, then everything is going to be fine. It's not about that. Thoughts and emotional control, it's not about just getting away the emotions. It's about knowing how to embrace them and how to deal with them, how to adapt to them. There's knowing about the science, what we know thus far about the science, on how everything occurs. Feel tired. And what does a thought do when it comes into your system? What does happen in your life if you keep on thinking negatively? What happens if you think positive? What happens if you enforce positive habits? What happens if you just apply yourself and work fucking hard to do something. Because law of attraction is not typing yes to affirm on a post that says you're going to get $1 million in the mail next week. It's about actually putting an effort in and working towards something, implementing new habits that will allow that possible outcome to happen. People don't seem to go that way because that requires work. And that's why I also agree with James Johnny. The law of attraction in itself has created this cult following that is just, it's dangerous. It is dangerous because if people just follow this for the positivity, instead of going into really understanding why, and also keeping an open mind, like that's keeping an open mind. I could have just bashed James Johnny and just hated him because his views was different than mine. But why? What would that solve, right? So people who goes into these cults, great coin, like I agree with you. People who go into these cults face the fear or face the possibility of basically having their life ripped out from underneath them because they completely 100% believe that just a thought will fix everything. Being positive will fix everything. Now, I say a lot of times it all starts with a thought. But that thought requires action. It requires some sort of thing that you do to enforce that thought if that thought is constructive towards building a new habit that will result in something coming into your life that you haven't done before. So, yeah. I agree, James Johnny. Basically. Long-winded, I agree. But there is also those people out there who's trying to spread the word of not just quantum physics and law of attraction as woo-woo words, but trying to teach the things behind it and how it's good. And how if you do this, you need an open mind and need to be able to see things for what they are instead of just wholeheartedly believe in something because you want to. So yeah, this is the first video of what I want to become a blog. Or a vlog. So I'm going to start to update these regularly, hopefully every day, who knows. But it's going to be interesting because I have a lot of thoughts in the morning, it seems. So without further ado, which is a weird thing to say at the end of the video, I will let you go on with your day. And thank you so much for seeing this video. If you like it, subscribe, do the notification thing, all that stuff. It really does help the channel, and I've seen that I need to do more of that. The CTAs, it's actually good for the channel. If you feel like you are resonating with any of this, why not support it? And then I'll see you in the next one. Peace!